Hello there. In this tutorial, you will learn React state management, use local storage, React best practices, debugging tricks, basic styling with tailwind CSS and many more. If you are a beginner or intermediate developer, this tutorial is for you. Let's get into the video. Hello. First of all, we have to create new folder. Open your terminal, then npx create React app, and in this side you can name the name whatever you want. I'm telling it's Todo, and this will create an application for you. It will take some time depending on your internet connection, and if this is not working, you have to go for Node.js, install Node.js on your computer. If you are Windows user, you can use this one, and if you are Mac user, you can use any other installation. I recommend you to use the recommended for most users version, because this is the stable version. Whatever you want for this one, after installing this one, this would work. We can see the process of installations. This would take some time, and before that, for this Todo app, for designing UI component, I use the tailwind CSS UI library. And if you never worked with tailwind, don't worry, you have documentation and components. Even they provide a template for you, so it is very easy to set up tailwind in for your project. So first of all, we need to install this one after our project get completed. The installation completed, so we just have to open the project. So in the folder and open this with VS Code. You can see our project. In the source folder, you can see the app.css and the app for this one and the index.css, and you can open the project like this way. You can just press start, or you can, in the terminal, you can type npm run start. It will do the same job for you. It opened the brand new project for you. Now I am going to clean this project for me. I don't need this logo, and we need this index. It's most relevant, and the reports test, the test is this one also. This will trigger a lot of errors, because even we deleted those, they still remain in those deleted ones imports, so we have to remove this one too. And I'm cleaning this one. After that, we just remove this one. The name, we can say app, and save that one. You can see, and we don't need these reports. This one also, and this index.css. Okay, you can see now our project is clean, and you can see these Todo app is showing in beside of the browser. So just go to the tailwind CSS and copy this line in the terminal. Yes, this way. It will installed, so you can check whether it's installed or not. In here you can see it's tailwind.css installed as a div dependency in here. No worries. Then run this code. This will initiate the tailwind config file for you. In here you can configure your files there, and copy these file extensions, this part, copy, paste. Okay, and the you don't need this JSX. Okay, simply it says these styles may apply for JSX and JS file formats in a project. After that, just copy this one and import into your app.css file. This will import all the tailwind styles for your project, for your app.css, and you can work with that one. For test, this one is working. We can use tailwind classes red 100. The text should be get let's say 500. This color, if the tailwind installed and we config the tailwind correctly, so refresh, it won't work. So if your app doesn't apply the CSS classes, please restart your project. It will help you to work this correctly. Just delete this one. You can get this one by terminal, new terminal. Then you can see this is running our current project. Then delete this one, then again start this one, and this will apply the tailwind CSS for you. Also, we won't need this react.strict mode. What the strict mode is doing is the strict mode is only applied for the development purposes, and it will render 2 times our app. You can see as an example, console.log. Keep this running, then you can inspect, and the inspect window come run. You can see it's run 2 times. Even we refresh this one, it runs 2 times. 1 2. We have to avoid this one, so we need to get rid of this sprint mode like this. Save the app. Then you can see it runs only at 1 time. That's all for the basic setup of this one. Start our development from this app.js. First of all, like clear these class names. Then after, clear this too. So first we're gonna make the layout for our to-do app. My plan is to make the input for the to-do task, then the add button, and the filter for the to-do task completed and not completed ones, then all the to-dos and list below that one. So for that I'm gonna make a new div and class name. You don't have to worry about these class names if you are not familiar with the tailwind CSS. You can refer their documentation. I will drop the link in below description, so don't have to worry about this one. First of all, I am going to add full screen. Full screen. You can see it automatically suggests classes which I needed for these tailwind classes, so you don't have to remember those things. Just and I'm going to make this as a flex container, then item center, and I'm going to add justify center, and for now I'm going to add bg red 500. Then save this one. You can see it automatically, after saving this one, it automatically refresh the app. Later we can change this color. So then after, I'm going to add another div below below this one. These the place where our app is comes. So it has height 100, it means 100% height, and width full, it means the full width of the browser width. Then the item center, it means the vertical alignment of this container. Then the justify item center, it's also come to center. Then the font sans. This define the font which we are using. I just say to use the sans font here. I feel like it's more readable. Then after, I'm going to add another div, class names, easy white, rounded. This class name means we had the rounded borders here, LG, and padding of 6 pixels, margin of 4 pixels, and width is going to be a full width. And for the large screen, I'm going to reduce this width into half of the screen sizes, otherwise it's not user friendly. So it should come like as that. So in Tailwind CSS we can write media queries also in from these classes. For this we can write like this. Okay, and the header section comes to here. For now we can add div for this one, header, and the to-do list items would come here. When you save the app, you can see it appear in the middle of these screens, and these after making this component, it should appear here, and the below these header there's a list items come after that one. So this all for the app.js. So let's move to make our these header component and the list component. For making these two components, I'm going to make those components separately. It's very easy to maintain, and that's a cleaner way to make a proper app. So I'm going to make one folder called components. Inside that component folder, I'm going to make our first component like header section one. You can see that our header component is just completed. Yeah, for you, if you have never used that React this extension, you can use that this React Redux React Native snippet extension that gives you a very clean and easy and shortcut for making basic components like this. So now it's back into our code, the header component. Below that one, I'm going to say with section dot jsx, and the export section. You can see it's way more easier than to making these from the scratch. So we already make these components separately. You can see it's inside the components folder. So we have to import this one. You just have to add this one and just tap enter, then it automatically will import it for app.js. When you refresh, you can see this header section comes from this separated component. So as the same as the header section, we import our list section also. Okay, then save it. After saving it, these components are now imported to our app.js, so we no more need this one for now. So let's move to our header section and make this. Okay, for the header section, I'm going to add class name MB8. It means the margin bottom 8 pixels. You can customize these pixel values by this tailwind config file, but I use the default value because no need to do that one in right now. Then h1 tag for the our header. So I'm going to make it to do list. I'm going to style it like text gray, darkest, okay. And the text 3xl. These defined our size of the this tag, our header. Okay, you can see it's happy here. You just have to save that one, it automatically re-renders. Then we're going to make our below that one we have to make our input field and the add buttons. So for that I just make some another div here. Then inside that div it's going to be a flex box, because we need to inline those three components in input, two buttons as well as the select. So I'm going to make it as a flex box container. Then margin top 4 means 4 pixels of margin for top. Then the gap like 5 pixels. It means the distance between these three components is 5. 5 means 5 pixels as default. Then after we're gonna add our input component, it should be self-closing on, and gonna add the class names, um, shadow, appearance none, border rounded. When you add the border, it apply 1 pixel border for this one, or otherwise you can say border 2, border 3, like that one. Rounded means the border radius is rounded, and the width should be full width one. And I'm going to add the padding for horizontal, padding for the vertical side 2 pixels and the horizontal side 3 pixels, as well as the text inside this one should be text gray, darker. Okay, save this one. You can see the our input is come here, and you can see when we use in the tailwind CSS, it's very easy to make layouts like this one. It's almost same as the CSS3, and if you know the CSS3 well, the tailwind is not more harder than that one. It is very easy. Okay, so for input we're gonna add some placeholder here. Placeholder, I'm going to add my task. You can add whatever placeholder if you like. Okay, so input. After that we're gonna add button for adding our component. Okay, the button should not be self-closing on, it should be like two tags, because we have to add the button name between those open tag and closing tag. So I'm going to add here areas. I'm going to add here. Okay, so I'm going to add padding 2. It means the all the directions padding 2 pixels, and the border 2 rounded. Text gonna be a teal. I think 900 may match. The border also go for teal color, and the when you hover the those button, this button text should be go white. Then the background should get 100. Later we can change if we want these colors, otherwise we can say okay. Okay, and these for hovering color, so normal wise we can say BG teal. Okay, just save this one. Okay, I think button is almost okay. You can see it seems to be normal button, and when we hover on it, uh, it gets teal color, as well as the text of the button also change. Okay, we can see it's color change it. So for now it's okay. It's also okay. And the input okay, and the add button is also okay. So next we have to move for the filter section. For filter section, I'm going to add select, and the three options should be there. Um, uh, First of all, the all, it means the completed and not completed all display. Then completed ones, completed, and uncompleted one here, uncompleted one here. You can save. You can see, but it comes without any styles because we didn't provide any class names here. Okay, and for the class names, I'm going to add shadow there, and the appearance none. It will remove all the box shadows there. Border, it means the 1 pixel border, as I told you. And the rounded means the border radius. And in my 2, in x3, and the text gray, darker. Oh, text gray darker. Okay. And for the last one, we can add flex no grow. It means this is the flex children property. It means the we say to this component to not more grow than its length, something like that. Otherwise it take the full length available. So we say text flex no grow. Okay, let's save it. You can see now we have much more complete and clean way of the header section, as well as the we can get rid of this one. Okay, this is our header section, and it's very simple one. I just want to make this is not a UI prioritized one. I just want to teach you how to get started with the React app and clean it, and how to manage your files in the component folder, how to split your code. That's all for this tutorial. So let's move into the list section. For list section, I'm going to make this as a flex container, because we have to inline our task and the read or unread button and the delete one. So we have to keep those in the inline, so we have to make it as a flex container. Margin bottom 4, item center, it means the vertical alignment. So, and I'm going to give background color 50. It means with some transparency. Adding x3 py, it means the padding vertical, and we have to add some border for UI purposes. And I'm going to add this yellowish border here. And for the cursor point, it means when we, you can see when you hover on it, it shows as a hand like thing. Okay, save it as, okay, where is the code? Okay. Then I'm going to add first our p tag here. Inside this p tag, our task is rendered here inside this p tag. So I'm going to say this is my This is my first task. You can see it's here, and I'm going to add some button there. The button, we have to say whether it's completed or not. In here I'm going to use some emojis here. If you are a Windows user, you can use emojis. Otherwise, if you're a Mac user, you can copy that from online. I'm going to add another button, and this is our delete button, so I'm going to make this a delete. Okay, this is our component without any style, so let's style this one. Okay, and we're going to add some class name. I'm going to give this full width because this is the one which need full width other than that one, because these are buttons and we have user needs to focus on this one because this is the task. And the text color as you can see I use almost a few colors in this app. That should keep you should not go more than 3 to 4 colors, because it's make users very uncomfortable when it comes to large apps. So try to become with some selected color patterns and import those color patterns to your apps. Okay, first for the button I'm going to add this should be flex no string. In this is flex no string means that it's not collapse too much. In here you can see we use flex no grow. It means it not more, don't grow too much. This is don't collapse too much, something like this, that one. All these are the flexbox properties. You can learn it from the documentation. Also it describes the what these are doing and in which situations you can use this one. And I'm going to add the padding 2. Okay, no, maybe 1, because otherwise it's I don't know. Okay, and margin left 1 there, margin right 2, border 2, and this also should be rounded one. Rounded. Okay, nice. Then the hover, when you hover, I think we don't need hover text here, because when you use emoji it won't applicable. Anyhow, we use this one here. Text white. Nice. And for now I'm get rid of this one so you can see the full code here. And okay, then we have to provide the border color, border green, and when you hover that button we have to PG green 300. Okay, let's say this one. You can see when you hovering its color changes to green one. Let's say you can make this button complete. User know when something, when users see something in green, he knows we can do positive thing from this one. Okay, that's all for the, I think we can get rid of this our text one, because text CSS won't apply for these emojis which I use, so we don't need that much. Okay, we can use exact same classes we use in above, but border 2 here, round. Also, there's a lot of extensions to detect your spelling mistake. As I say, you can see there's unknown word, and this way, this will help you to get rid of unknown bugs. Trust me, this will surely help you to get unknown bugs. So you can say search these extensions on VS Code and install it in your VS Code. That may help. Okay, round it. Then after I'm going to say text red. Then the border also needs to be red color because it's a delete, and delete means it should disappear. For when you hover, the text should be white because I'm going to make background red when hover. BG red, maybe 700 may work. Let's see. Yeah, it's work. Hopefully it's work. Okay, let's go 600. I think 600 is much more lighter one, so we can keep it. Okay, and this is the basic one. Okay, then after I'm going to add the copy of this one. Yeah, you can say when you save this one, the app crashes and it said module build failed, and you can't this won't display any apps. When you go to right click and inspect in the console, there's no more messages displaying in console. The reason for this one is for return statement it should be one child, so we had to wrap these components in one. So I'm going to use these wrappers. This is called react fragments. You can use these react fragments or empty divs, as well as react dot fragments, and these empty parentheses do exact same job. This won't render empty HTML in the HTML DOM, but if you use this div like thing, it's rendered empty div for the your component. So for now we use this one here because you can see when we go to this one and it won't render this div. It won't render div, just these two components. So if we add div here and refresh, you can see there's a wrapper in these for these two. So we get rid of this one because we won't need any other unnecessary code in our one. This is for the correct on this is for the make it as completed one, and for there's a possibility to make completed one uncompleted. So for that I'm going to use cross mark here, so that in that we should okay, but the color should be changed. If there's a completed one, I am going to make this as orange color. It should work. I don't know. Let's see. Orange, and the border also should be orange. Oh my gosh, I am super bad at this spelling things. Okay, I think now it should work. Okay, you can see now in the let's see, we have same task, and first of all you can make it as a completed one. If there is a completed one, we can show as this. Also we can cover, if the completed one, we can change these texting to, I mean we can extract to these the text. So oh my gosh, THROUGH, sorry. Okay, oh, again, come on, man. Line TH I'm sorry for those things. Okay, we can see that if the completed if we make this component completed, then it will display like this one. If we can make the completed task into not completed one, and it display like this one. Okay, we are back to our functional part of this app. So this I'm gonna make two status. One state for storing our to-do list items, and the other one for this filtered list one. For that, I'm going to use state. You can see it automatically imported from the use state. Yeah, you can from the React. So I'm going to use simply you can use as a const and the to-do list set to-do list equal use state, and initially it should be empty array, because at the beginning of the app there's a no more app. And for the second state, I'm going to add filter value, yeah, and the for the set filter value, it means it should be or it means it default by default it should be selected the all state. So I'm going to set it default value to all, and so we have to move these states. This currently I'm now in the app.js, it means the parent one, so we have to move these states to child one. There's a lot of methods we can use context or other things. The simplest way is to we can move these states and the functions by passing it as a props. It means it's a very simple thing. You just have to come here and pass this as to-do list is equal to-do list. You can see now it's display as it's used in somewhere, so we have to pass all of these states, I guess. Yeah, we need all of these states to pass there. The filter state and the set filter value function also. So we pass all of our list to our header section. In the header section, we have to receive those filters, otherwise we can't use those things. So to receive this one, use these brackets, to-do list set to-do list, nice, filter val and set filter val. Then we just pass these states and the set function here, and we receive those from here. Okay, that's all for this one. Then we just have to so for this one we have to maintain separate state for this input class. I mean that this state should be in this header section and store these type in value there. So I'm going to make it as a const task task use state. Oh my god, use state. Okay, we can get rid of this one and make it as task, and initially it should be empty string, and you can import your use state here. Okay, and this should be the value of our input task, and when we type in this input, you can see it won't change anything because we already provided these task and we never set task anywhere, so it won't change. We can type this one, So for the on change one, we set e dot target dot value and say this one. It means that on change, or you can choose on blur. In the on change, this function runs every time the letter enters here. It runs every time here. If you enter 3 times, the function runs 3 times. The difference between on change and the on blur is on blur only runs when we get rid of this input focus. It means you type something here and you get rid of this focus, that function triggers. That's the difference between these two. You okay, for now I think on change is much more good here, so I just use this one. If you are thinking about some performance or any other things, you can use on blur. It's no worries for that one. Then after, let's see whether we can use this one. So now there's a question: how we identify whether these working or not. I mean, how we identify these tasks get updated. So for that, just right click on your browser, then goes to console. There's nothing is this, it shows the component is uncontrolled. Okay, we can fix those later. The one one way is you can console log the task here. It means every time you trigger here, you can see the change of the values from here. When you did it triggers, but it's very hard if you're working on very large app. So what is there any easy method? Yes, first of all, go to the Google, then search React Developer Tools and install in your browser. Okay, after that restart your browser. After that you will get something like this. This will show all the components in your React app and the sub components. You can see the header section is displayed here, and in the header sections you can see the props which we passing down also is display here. These 4 props are displaying here as a props, and the hooks as a hooks. We can see our task states also there. If when you are updating, it's real time get updated. You can see how easy then console login one by one. So install that one also in your browser. It may very easy for your workload, as well as when you're working in a big app. It's super easy to debug things, as well as it's more efficient than the other console log thing. So the some instances you have to use console log. You can't avoid that one, but most of the occasions you can use this one without any problems. So let's get into the app back. I just deleted this one, and for now we won't need this one too. Okay, then the input thing is okay. For a button, I'm going to, for this button, when we use a click this add button, we have to update our main task. For that one, I'm going to add on click event and it as a function and handle add. You can see it's error showing there's a no, because there's no function like handle add. So we have to create that handle add. You can see there's a not defined. It means there's a nothing names match for handle add function, and it's not there. So we have to make it as a function. I'm make it as a arrow function, and I'm going to make it as a, I'm going to add on click here. You can see the error is disappeared, and in the console you can see every time we click, that click console is clicking. It means this function is working. Okay, that's all for now for this button component. Let's move into our select. For select, there should be 4 values. No, sorry, there should be 3 values. And when you use this value, it should update this. That's how it should work. So for that, we need to add on change for this one and provide value for the select also. So we're gonna add on change, and I'm going to set directly set filter value value. Okay, you can see. Okay, and value for this one, I'm going to say filter value. Okay, let's say with this one. And for the option, you definitely have to provide the value for this option too, otherwise it won't work, because we have to provide the value here, and this should be something like this. Oh my gosh, value completed, nice, and the uncompleted one. So this is all for this select one. You can see how easy this React works. It's very user friendly and developer friendly. So let's back into our components. You can see in header section and in the app, you can see there's our second state display as all. It means this filter value. When we choose this one as to completed, and it's changed to completed. When it's to uncompleted, it's automatically changed. Just negotiate this little delay on here. It will be okay. So after that, all the tasks for this one is okay, but you can do one thing rather than this one. Every time you using these options, let's say we have 100 options, 1000 options, you don't have to use these option again and again. You can make it as like this, something like this. You can make small array of object selected, okay, which contain inside that array there's an object which contain value and the name. Okay, there's a 2 properties there, let's say, or something like this, nice, and there's a 3 values. This should be completed, and this exact same thing for here. This should be completed. Can okay, completed. Now we have value and the name in all of these properties and selected values array. Then we can get rid of all of this one. Okay, selected value dot map, and it returns item and the index. You can say index. Oh my gosh, why I'm mixing these letters. And direct returns something like this. Then inside this one you can call the options, and for the name you can call it as item dot name, and for the value you can say item dot value, and you have to provide some key here, otherwise it will display some error, because it's very important to provide key. That's how React identify your component get updated, your loop get updated, your mapped value get updated, or something like that. So we have to provide that one. Don't think about too much about those things, that get the idea about this, otherwise your brain get overheated, I guess. So after that you can provide index, just provide index like this. Okay, let's refresh this one. Okay, you can see this all, and when we go to complete it, it's work as exactly same as before but less code. You can see how easy this one. Okay, for the index one, I'm going to use template literal. You can find this key in the escape button in your keyboard and add some string here. I'm just going to say this is not a necessary thing, but I think it's better if you have this one in your code because it's much more clean. Filter values and the dollar sign, you can you know that you have then you will have access for this index. Then it will works as expected, and you can see in the options all of these keys are get it automatically shows as a root agent and use agent, as well as the option values also display here. It means it's worked fine. And always try to get rid of these warnings. Let's see, each child has a list, should get rid. Let's refresh this one. Okay, the error disappeared because if you remove this key, let's remove this key and refresh this one, you can see that there's a error showing each child in the list should have unique key. It means to identify this is a child of the parent, we have to provide key here. Okay, let's save it. When you refresh this one, that error disappeared. Okay, let's move into our task list. I'm just typing something, and when we add, it should be updated this to-do list item array. So for that, how to do this one, and let's get into how to make this one. Now we're gonna add these task for our main task list. For that, we have to set this one. So set this one, and we have to set this as a function. Why you are set this as a function, you can set directly as this. There's a reason behind that one. If you set these as a like this, it will replace your previous one. That shouldn't happen in this list, to-do list, because when we add task here and press add, it should be add one after this one, and you add another, it should be add also one after this one. So to do that one, we have to make it as a set these function as a like this, and in that array we spread our previous array, then add task, then we're gonna add a few other properties. Then we have to add id for that one. For now I am say it as an id string, but later we have to move that, and I'm going to add another property called is completed. Initially this is false. It means this is the property where we say this is completed or not, and initially this is false, and the id there's an error showing. Let's see what get okay, these okay, we have to wrap these from. Okay, let's see whether our thing is working or not. Just inspect this one and go to React Dev Tools. You can see in the app component we have empty array. For now I maximize my window here. You can see now it's empty, and I'm going to add something, then press add. It's add the what we type here, and it's not cleared, you can see. And I'm going to add another. It also added, but it's not cleared. It means this is working, but we have to modify it a bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do, after adding these tasks, I'm going to clear these tasks. Okay, it means after get adding, I'm going to clear this one for empty string. It means when we click add, every time it's get add, it's clear that input. It's very easy. But for the ID thing, we need unique ID for every task. It should be unique because that ID we use for the make it as read or unread, completed or not, and delete the item from the list. So to get unique ID, I'm going to install UUID. This is otherwise you can make some function to create a unique number every time, but than that, I think this is a much more cleaner way and easy. So you just have to copy this npm install UUID, then open a new terminal and paste it like here. You can see it installed. By the way, we can copy these it already installed. I think it's installed. You can check whether it's installed or not. Go to package.json, and in the dependencies list you can see the package installed or not. In my case, it's installed, so we don't have to worry about that. Then import, oh sorry, my bad, just copy this one and import those UID library, then here call it as a function. Okay, cool. Now every time we create a new task, it create unique ID as well as clear this input. So let's go get into our components and the app. You can see now the states are okay. You have to refresh this one, then all the states are get to initial state. Then I'm going to add this one. Okay, I just add 3 tasks. You can see it get updated, and we expand this one. You can see each of these have unique IDs, and by this ID you can delete, you can make it as read, you can do whatever you want for these tasks by this ID. This is a simple way to implement these IDs. Otherwise there's a much more ways, and there's a way more variants of doing these things. And there's an this is not the one and only library. It has a lot of downloads. That's why I choose this one. You can use another libraries also. Otherwise you can write separate function for the ID thing. It's also fine. So so we have to, let's move to now we have updated these things. For certain thing we have to display here those updated when we add task here, we have to display here, as well as we have to make it as a read and delete that one. Let's get into that. To display our already added task in below task list, so as the header section we have to pass this to-do list and the set to-do list for the list section, and the exactly same as the header section. You have to get those list here, list to-do list here, means the exact same way we pass it as a props, and this we won't need filter value and the set filter value. But I think later we need this filter value, because for the filter value we have to control our list here. Later we can let's see about that. So here we see, and we have to loop these according to the to-do list. So I just remove first hard-coded one. You can see we have only one, and I'm going to loop this one because we won't need we don't use any hard-coded ones there, because we have working list there. So first of all, we're gonna say, oh my gosh, what happened? Okay, first of all, we're gonna say dot map, and the item as well as index. You can use whatever name you want for this one, but please use some readable names, otherwise it's very hard to read for anyone. So this is the one, and we're going to say for this one we can add the item dot task, as I remember right correctly, item dot task, and save right there. You can see it's display already added task before here. You can see add it already added, and for this one and delete, we can keep it like that, but you know, we have to provide IDs and keys, otherwise we should avoid all of the errors. You can just provide this key like this, but I think it's better to provide some readable way, it's more cleaner way. Just I'm going to say task, then the $sign, then the index. Okay, this way we can choose this one. Okay, we can save this one. Then we have unique key for each element, and this is key only for the DOM element, and we won't use anything. Okay, what else we need? And you know, there's a two type of task there. Some are as we decided before, some need to, when we click this one, we need to provide completed one, and already completed one should strike through this task, and the icon should change and the colors should change. For that, we have to, how we achieve that one? It's very easy, man. It's super easy. We have to make this as also, sorry, we have to make this as something like this. Okay, then by the properties, if there is a item is completed, we have to line through that one. It means simply we have to apply this class if only that task is completed. So how we do that? It's very easy. Just $sign and the parentheses, then item dot is completed. If it is completed, then add this class. Simply it says if this task is completed, please add this task. Super simple as this one. So and for this icon also should change according to that one. So I'm going to grab this and item dot completed. If their item is completed, we have to display this one. If not completed, we're going to display like this. Okay, you can see we have to display like this. It's super easy, but there's some problems there. If the item is completed, we have to display this. It means it's already completed. And if there is a not completed, we have to display this. you can interchange these icons, but there's a way more easy than this. You can use this exclamation mark here. It will do the same job for you. So we get managed to use this one. Then we have to also we have to change these classes also in the buttons, but before that let's move into, I think it's better to add some number in here. Numbering is very easy things. So I'm going to add span here, and the span I'm going to index. When we use an index, you can see, okay, let's add the class names to make it this as margin right 4, it means 4 pixel margin, and font bold here, also text small, something like this. Okay, you can see it's display 0 1 2 3 because the index are get arrays starting from 0 indexes, so we have to +1, then it will show 1 2 3 4. That's easy. Also add some for more readability. Now you can have numbering also. Thereafter we have to change this background one according to our completed or not completed task list. For that simply we have to make this as a this template literals inside template literals, and the same as that one we have to say item dot completed. If there's an item dot completed, we have to add border orange. Orange, nice. And the for our animation, BG orange 50, orange 300. Nice. Okay, there's an error because this is like else statements. There's only if there, so else statement should be here. Okay, we can get rid of this one. Okay, I think now it should be work. Okay, it's work. I think something is wrong there because we have to show green color. Okay, my bad. We have to display like this, green. Okay, now it's okay. And also for the button we have to say on click, and we have to pass when on click event we have to pass and we can say handle complete, and when we complete that one we have to pass that ID which this ID, we have to pass this ID to our function to identify this task. So you know is undefined means you have to define that one. So const, and we get that ID here, and like this, then save it here. In the delete function, what we're going to do, simply we have to this is the process. Simply we have to find the task which equal to ID, then remove that task. Then make it as completed, then update the array. These are the things we have to do in this function. First of all, we have to find the function, simply we have to find the id which equal to this id list, then make it as completed, then update the array. To that, I'm gonna get copy task list array. Okay, it's very easy. Task list array, you can call whatever you want. Naming is the hardest thing in programming, so you can use just spread this array and at to-do list. You can see we get copy of this array. Then after get copy, after that we can make it completed. Okay, nice. Then task list array dot map item, then return that item. Item dot id should equal to id. We choose the in here we choose the item which equals to this item. It means the this task is what is what are the things we do in here is to find that id exactly same in this our main array. So after that we have to spread that our main component and goes to is completed and make it as not is completed, not sorry, not item is completed. It means it's a very simple thing. Completed, otherwise it's written item. Okay, I think now it should work. Simply this function first select the which item which equal to this id, then spread that item, then which make if there's a complete is true, it make into false. If there's a false, then make this to true. Otherwise, if not match this id, it return the same items as before. So then we update our task like this. Okay, let's see whether it's working or not. First of all, we have to refresh this app, then we add some task. Second, you can see our app is working. It's working. Also for complete a task we can change the background also. I think it's better. For do that, it's very easy. Now you know the technique. Make this as inside the parentheses and wrap it with template literal, then item dot is completed. If there's a completed task, oh my gosh, I think something wrong here. Okay, if there's a complete task, we have to provide bg as completed one, bg green 50. It means that this one we don't have to provide the two class names. And there's a not completed one, bg orange 50, I guess, orange 50. Yes, super simple. You can see this is the completed one, this is not completed one. Okay, I think we should interchange the colors, otherwise it's look weird. Yeah, now it's look good. These are the already existing one, and these are the task we mark it as completed. If there's a completed task, we can already also mark it as a not completed, and you can see that's how these not by exclusion mark work. If there's a it's already it's convert the true into false. If there's a false, it converts to false true. So let's then we have to move for our delete function. Click and make it as function and will delete. Very easy. And same as the other one, we have to pass the id for that one. there's a no function called handle delete, so there should be error here, and I'm gonna make function const handle delete id. Okay, here it's very simple. To here in here we just have to find the equal to id, then remove it from list, then update the list. These are the things we have to do in here. That one also I'm getting this copy of this array. The reason I'm getting the copy of this array, we can't manipulate this original array, it's not good, so we manipulate our own. We getting copy of this array of our main array, then we can call this const make delete. Okay, then here we can use the filter, and the item returns if the item dot id not equal to id item. Okay, like that, and update the array. Make delete. Oh my gosh. Okay, make delete. Save this one. So we can check this item. We select the item. If there's a id is not equal to this id, it returns that id. Simple as that. So let's check. Let's view task. Okay, this is working, and this is not working. Okay, delete is not working, you can see. Let's see what we can see in our console. Oh my gosh, something wrong there. Uncon typo error. Okay, I got that. This said there's a type error. Okay, so let's get rid into here. Okay, we miss R here. I think that's the case. So let's delete. Yeah, it's working. You can see now you can delete whatever you want. Add or delete and make it as a, this is now completed, but we have to add a few more things. First of all, we have to add some question marks here. This check whether there's a to-do list. If there's a length to-do list there, if there's a to-do list, then map. Just simple question mark makes your apps bug free. Otherwise you have to check if there's a to-do list. If you get rid of this one, you have to check something like this, to-do list. It's very creepy. I mean, you can use these easy methods. Okay, that's all for this part. I think this is working right now. Okay, and let's move into this filtering part later on. You can make it's working as expected. Also in the filtering part we have to move this I mean, if we make it as a read or completed one, we have to change this order to we have to in the top of the list we have to display uncompleted one. So we have to sort this array. Also we have to filter this array, completed and no. So let's dig into next sections and see how we can achieve that one. Now we're gonna make this filtering works. It's already working, but we have to filter these filter these task list according to these select. So for that we have to get filter value here. So we have to pass this as a prop, and we have to get that here. Okay, now we gain filter value. It means now we have filter value, but before then, let's see, there we have a map and we have direct return here. So I got a simple idea. We return here. Before this item return, we can check this condition. First of all, we have to check whether filter value, let's say filter value equal all, then show this path. It means okay, when they return the array and the filter value is equal to all, show this. If this is work, when I choose completed, the list should be disappear. Yeah, it means it work. You can see. And for the second one, all, it means for condition. So then we're gonna add two tasks. I mean the two conditions, but we can say oh, okay, I think it should work. Then item dot is completed, and filter value equal completed, then show something. Let's okay, there's a something over that. Okay, then the condition of this one. Oh my gosh, what is okay, item value is not completed. I mean, if this is a false, this is called as uncompleted one. We can get these three. There's three conditions. If filter value all, show the list, and if the item is completed one and the filter value is completed, if the both are true, show those things. If the filter value is not completed, this one is equal to is completed false, and the filter value is uncompleted, show those values. So you can see there's something wrong with that uncompleted value. Let's see what we okay, we can move this thing here. I think it should work, but not sure. Inside this, okay, we can move this inside this function. No, we can actually, okay, I think now it's working. No, it's not working. Why is that? Okay, we can move inside this function. Oh my gosh, now it should work. I think now it should work. Means if there is a this condition or this condition or this condition, something like that, no? All completed and completed. Nice, it's working. Yeah. That's all for the filtering value. It's super easy, it's super easy. For the sorting one, if we add some task here and there's a two completed, we have to sort these not completed one to top and the completed one to bottom. So do that. We can before the map we can sort our array. It is sort means inbuilt function in JavaScript, so you don't have to import anywhere. Here a b into a dot is completed into b dot is completed. Let's see whether this working or not. Okay, yes, it's working. If we interchange this one, this will change the order, but we need in this way. Okay, let's say we had some task and now you can see it's automatically changed the order. That much easy in React and the front-end development if you learn correctly. You know, it's very easy. You can make it as read. Also, you can filter completed task, uncompleted task, also all, then delete the completed, and it will automatically comes to top of your order. So the last thing is we are done with our task list, but there's one problem. If we refresh this one, the task or all the tasks are gone. We can't find that one. It won't save in your browser. So how to save this in your local storage? Let's get into the last part of this video. This part is an additional part for this to-do list app. I'm going to save this in my local storage, and then it won't disappear like this when you save in this one. But there's some tricky parts there. So if you want to learn some React hooks or custom hooks, you can stay here, or otherwise you can skip into next section and like my video and share it with your friends. So first of all, we have to we don't need that list section one. Then we can go to app.js one. Then we have to set our these to-do list in our local storage. If you don't know about the local storage, there's a in the application you can see local storage there. I'm going to clear this one. Let me clear this one. Okay, there's nothing here now. You can see there's a local storage, and there's nothing here. We can store key with some values and get retrieve those values if we when we need it. So for that, I'm gonna, the thing is, first of all, we want to check whether our items were there. So every time our set to-do list get updated, we have to update that list too. To that one, I'm going to create custom hook. Why I'm creating custom hook instead of using use effect? I just want not to run my use effect at the initial stage and the run every time my set state updated. Usually use effect run at the initial state. If we provide the dependency, if we provide the dependency, it runs every time it's get updated. But I don't need to run it at the initial stage, because when it comes to initial stage, it again it's again reset to this empty array. So that's why I looks to write custom hook for this one. So I'm saying hooks, and I'm gonna call this one what I should call this one. The naming is very hard. Use did mount effect, I guess. This one should work. Dot .csx, then rfc. Now you should familiar with this one. Then, oh my gosh, okay. Then I'm going to import use effect here, use effect here. Since you're a beginner, you don't have to look this much by much more attention, but it's very important to get idea how to write these things, because it definitely you will need in your future product, but it definitely may need it for your future products, future apps. So, and I'm going to add use ref also. In the return, there's a function. I'm going to get function and the depths. You can use any names here. I just use this one. I don't know. Then I'm making count sorry, I am making const, come on man, const did mount, okay, mount, did mount, and ref this, I mean false. It means reference that one into false at the initial stage, then add use effect. You can use effect, very easy. If okay, we can choose if did mount dot current. This current values comes from this ref. It means if it is this return the function. Very simple. It seems to be a very hard one, but yes, if there's a no, please make this as a true. Okay, I think something wrong here. Okay, let's say, okay, I missed this bracket there. Okay, I think now is all okay. There's error showing. For now, I just disable this hook for enter file, and we don't need this one. And this is our hook. Okay. Simply this don't run at the initial render, but normally use effect run at the initial render. Normally use effect runs at the initial render as well as the dependency updated. So in this custom hook won't run in the initial render, but it runs every re-render that dependency updated. So that's what we needed. So then after I'm going to this one and call use bit mount effect. It's very easy, and function the call this one as a function, and the inside this one I'm going to local storage set item, then the key value pair name. I'm going to call this one to-do list. You can call anything you want here, it's totally fine. Then add comma, then in capital JSON dot stringify to-do list. It's very important to add JSON dot stringify, otherwise in your local storage, let's go into the local storage. Something wrong here. I think yeah, there's error showing. Okay, let's refresh. It seems to be working, but I missed this dependency here. To-do list. This will update. This will update every time except the initial stage. This to-do list get updated. So we can go for the application, and you can see there's an empty array here and there's nothing there. So let's add something, and let's see whether it's working. You can see it's updated simultaneously with our app. When we delete this one, it get rid of those. It means it's working. So we are setting those things in the local storage. So in the next step, we have to get use effect here, and we have to get those stored thing from the local storage. To get that one, I'm cleaning this one, we don't need. Set filter values, set to-do list. Yes, this is the one we needed. And JSON pass local storage dot get item. I think this should be come as a string. We don't need anything here. This only runs on the initial render. This only run on the initial render because there's no dev dependencies. So this only run on initial render because there's no dependencies, but this don't run in the initial render, but it runs every render which this list get updated. So simply I am saving this as a stringify. It means otherwise it store this as a object and we can't read, even we can get, is useless. And when we get in, I again converted those into these objects, simple as this one. Now our app is totally completed. You can see even I refresh this app, I already added task over there, and I am adding few tasks. It also there, and we can make it as a completed and delete these things. Even we can filter these things. It's very easy. So when even after we refresh, it won't change anything. Simple as this one. And you can see this is the totally responsive design.